Orleans Firebirds broadcasters Brendan King and Logan Ratick with you here from Veterans Field at the Cape Cod League All Star Game. Logan, a lot of Firebirds being represented here, and it's really great to see a lot of talent coming from this team. So let's start and let's go through them. Let's start with Brian Miller. Brian's had a really good season so far, has really turned it around. The average is going up, stealing quite a lot of bases, and more importantly, the on-base percentage is really good.
Yeah, Brian Miller's been one of the better hitters in the Cape Cod League over the last 2 or 3 weeks. His average over a 14-game span was at .520 at one point. So he's just hitting the cover off the ball, either in the leadoff spot or in the 2-hole. But what makes him so great at the plate, he has a good eye, he has great speed. So if he hits a chopper in the infield or lays down a bunt, he has the opportunity to beat it out for a single. Balls in the gaps, easy extra base hits for Brian. He's just seeing the ball, he's hitting the ball, but he's also playing a tremendous center field, a guy that can cover a lot of ground, especially at Eldridge Park, where center field is 434 feet deep.
And let's go to his outfield partner in Adam Hazley, a guy that's really coming in and impressing a lot of scouts. Every time at Eldridge, you kind of hear whispers behind us at the broadcast table, hey, who's this Hazley kid? Or, man, he's looking really good. And to his credit, the guy's hit a lot of game-tying hits, had that walk-off home run against Falmouth a couple weeks back, and Adam just has looked like he's put himself in a great position for next year.
Yeah, Adam Hazley looks like one of the better players in the Cape League. There's a reason he's starting for the East in the All Star Game, but people don't even realize most of the time that he's a pitcher at Virginia too. He's their Sunday starter and does a great job at that. But Hazley hitting close to 300, 3 homers, over 10 RBIs on the year. He leads the Firebirds in extra base hits. But what he also is so good at, and it's a category that you don't have stats for, being a clutch hitter. He's had countless game-tying hits. He also had a walk-off 2-run homer not too long ago against Falmouth on national television. So Adam Hazley is really just getting his name out there, and a lot of people, I think, have been really impressed by him this year.
And we'll move along to the infield to the starting first baseman in Riley Mahan, and talk about a guy that just came in hot. Early on in the season was batting around 700, 600, and obviously down in the 300s now. But either way, Riley Mahan is making himself one of the best players in the Cape Cod League this year.
Yeah, I interviewed him before, and I said, Firebird shortstop? I mean, I don't know what to call him. He started off the season playing second base. He moved over to first base, where he's going to be playing in the All-Star Game tonight. But he's also played shortstop, which is his natural position at Kentucky. But I guess that's the thing about Riley Mahan. He's very versatile, can play throughout the infield. But ever since the first game of the season, where he had 4 hits against Brewster, he has been one of the leaders in hits. He has 39 on the season, and that's tied for third right now. So just to think about what he has done through the first 35 games, it's something truly remarkable, and Riley Mahan should be incredibly proud of his performance thus far.
And now to a guy that plays right next to him usually is Ethan Paul out of Vanderbilt. You just talked to him, and Ethan, a quiet guy, but sure makes his presence known on the baseball field. Coming in from a tough situation at Vanderbilt, he's really made the most of his Cape summer.
Ethan's a great kid and a guy that has a lot of versatility and just a great option at the plate. He can play short, he can play second, he can play first, but when he's hitting, we've seen him move into that leadoff hole because he has a great eye. He takes a lot of pitches close to the zone that are off the plate, works the count, and allows the pitcher to either throw a ball over the plate or walk him. So that's why you're seeing Ethan Paul in the lineup more and more, but a guy who's just so young. He plays at a great program in Vanderbilt. And we've seen so much progression from him just in a couple of weeks. That's why he's in the All-Star Game. And I'm really interested to see what the future holds for Ethan Paul. I think he could be a tremendous player going forward.
And now to a guy who's not actually in the All-Star Game, but will be represented right before, is Drew Bauer. But we'll definitely consider him an All-Star by the way he's played this year. He's going to be in the Home Run Derby. Drew's a big kid, likes to hit for power, but he's really filled in nicely as one of the Birds catchers, and can also play some first base.
Yeah, Drew Bauer has a beautiful swing from the left side, and has that versatility, as you mentioned, can catch. He splits time with Riley Adams, and he has played first base, which is his primary position at Michigan. But Drew's a guy that's he's great at driving in runs. He has a really good bat. He can hit it into the gaps. But his power, we've seen it a little bit. He's hit 2 home runs, both against Chatham, actually, the first one here on July 4th. But I think the best is yet to come from Drew, and the more his bat gets in the lineup, the more he'll perform. But at the same time, it's tough to make the All-Star team when you're splitting time with another All-Star and Riley Adams.
Well, let's talk about Riley. Really coming in, one of the most mature baseball players that I think we've both ever talked to. A guy that just has a really good head on his shoulders is Riley Adams, and he's shown on the field as well. Is now the best hitter on the team in batting average. It's up in the 330s, and it's been consistently there. The bat's been really hot in July and behind the plate just all summer. You can count on Riley.
Yeah, Riley Adams is a guy you can always count to put on a good at-bat, and he's a guy that puts the ball in play, makes contact, doesn't strike out all too often, and you could put him in the 4 or 5 hole regularly. He hasn't hit a home run, but he hit 2 home runs at Fenway Park during the off day. So we know what he's capable of at the next level. And I forgot to mention, him and Drew Lugbauer, both draft picks coming out of high school. Lugbauer for the Blue Jays in the 21st round, Riley Adams a 37th round pick by the Cubs. But both of these guys have bright futures ahead of them. But for Riley Adams, I think his future going forward, he'll be a catcher. I think you could see Lugbauer as a first baseman, but the way he's hitting and the way he plays beyond the plate, Riley Adams is a guy that a lot of scouts are going to have their eyes on. They've had their eyes on him, and they'll continue to do so here at Veterans Field.
Riley has a connection here at Veterans Field. He never played with Chris Bryant at San Diego, but Chris played out here in Chatham for John Schiffner. So I talked to him earlier. He's definitely excited, and now move to the pitchers. First one, let's talk about is Joe Ryan, the ace of this staff. We call him the stopper, rightfully so. Whenever whenever the Birds are really need a win or need to break a losing streak, Joe Ryan takes the mound, and typically he's been lights out with that ERA under 1.
Yeah, Joe Ryan, another one of 3 returners from last year's Firebirds team, but he has like you mentioned, the second best ERA in the league under 1. He has been so superb, and as that stopper, he has stopped multiple losing streaks for the Orleans Firebirds, and a guy that he'll go out on the mound and you just have the utmost confidence in him. He mixes in the breaking ball well with his fastball, his changeup. And Coach Kelly Nicholson, I talked to him a little while ago, and he said that you're going to see Joe Ryan pitch the second inning today. He's also the scheduled starter for tomorrow's game at Bourne, so that should be interesting. But Joe Ryan, just a veteran in every sense of the word, a really nice guy, a really genuine guy, and his second year in the Cape, he's having an outstanding season and such a deserving all-star. He's not getting the start for the East, but he has the best numbers out of any starter in the East. You look out west, Jeff Passantino, the only guy with a lower ERA.
And now from the starter to the closer, and Brandon Belak was just told a couple days ago he's going to be in the All-Star game as Belak, but rightfully so. I mean, Belak's come in all kinds of situations, has logged the most innings out of any guy with a bullpen in that Orleans pen. And Belak this year, he's throwing gas, he's getting guys out, and picking up some saves along the way.
Brandon Belak, this has been a great summer for him. He's really got to show off his talent in front of a lot of scouts, and he has that fastball in the mid-90s with that hammer of a curveball, and if he can get a changeup and a slider developed, he'll be a great pitcher going forward. But as the closer, he's pitched in almost half of the games for the Firebirds. He's not always coming in safe situations. He'll come in if the Firebirds are down. It's just a guy that Kelly Nicholson trusts so much with the game on the line. And if you need a guy to come in and get some outs, Brandon Belak is your man. He showed that the entire season. Just an outstanding closer for the Birds.
And the manager, Kelly Nicholson. You talked to him a little while ago. Kelly's one of a kind, man. It's unbelievable. Just to talk to him day in and day out, he's ready to watch his guys, and it's great seeing Kelly as the manager.
You know, for a third-place team, there are a lot of people here. You know, you got 7 All-Stars, a manager, and a home run derby competitor, but don't be fooled by that third-place record. The Firebirds are a good team. I still think the best is yet to come for them, and I was talking to Kelly Nicholson about that before. He's just so thrilled to be here. It's his 12th season as the manager of the Firebirds, the 12th All-Star game he's a part of, and the 3rd time managing. And you know, Kelly, just a great coach. He's never had a losing record. He's a great guy. He never freaks out at umpires or anything like that. He's just he's a teacher, and that's his actual job. He's a math teacher and just a great communicator, loves the game of baseball, and he's so big on character. So just to have a guy like that in the dugout representing the East All-Stars, just a guy who's just such a fun and a guy who really just motivates you to go out and play your best. That's who Kelly Nicholson is. He'll be in the dugout, and all the guys on the East All-Star team will get to know who Kelly is.
Well, it's sure going to be a fun day here at Veterans Field. It's about 90 degrees and sunny, which is why we're sweating. I can't even imagine playing today. It's going to be a good one from Veterans Field. Brendan King, Logan Ratick, thanks for watching.
That's at the merchandise tent. That's the silent auction, which will end at the end of the second inning.